How powerful of a light do you need to go from this to this, or even this? Oh my God. All right, let's say you want to do a vlog outdoors on a bright sunny day. How much of a powerful light, what wattage do you need to light up your face, to light it up is equally with the background so the background isn't washed out? That's what we're going to figure out today. We're going to go from the dimmest to the brightest, and you will see some amazing differences. So starting off with panel lights, most of these are never going to cut it for you. Right now I'm using one of this right here. It's a Yongnuo YN600L. This is one of the more brighter ones. It's 38 watts. That's what I'm using right now. And it's borderline. I mean, this is as weak as you're going to get. I would not use a panel light really outdoors when you're trying to do that. Look how how that's overexposed back there. So we're going to go from 30 watts up to daylight. You're going to blow your mind here. All right, starting with 30 watts, we're starting with a SmallRig RC30B. It has an aspheric lens to help focus the light. So let's put this one on there. I'm going to measure all of these with a Zeconic light meter, ISO 100T60, and this one starts off at 5.66. I mean, you're getting some light. I'm going to expose all of these to my face, so properly exposed face. And you notice the brighter the light gets, the darker the background gets, which is what we want to achieve. Right now, the background is a little light. We want to make it darker. We want to have a nice dark blue sky. Okay, so right now, this is 5.66, 5.65, 30 watts. All right. And oh yeah, by the way, I'm in total shade. I forgot to mention that I'm in total shade, so I'm black. Okay, now we're going to go to another 30 watt light, a Inky 30. This one is a more concentrated 30 watts. So let's do the Inky 30. All right, this is the Inky 30. It's a little more of a concentrated beam, and this is 8.01. Okay, but you notice the background still looks kind of the same. So, and you'll notice the beam is kind of only from here to here. So it's a very narrow beam. All right, moving up to 65 watts, we have the Ulanzi EC65. Tiny little portable lightweight thing. Let's see what this is. All right, we adjusted the camera one notch darker, so we're now at 8.06. This is the EC65. This is 65 watts. Now let's move up to the 80 watt well making. 8.05, pretty much exactly the same. Let's move up to 100 watts with the X100 Zhiyun. Okay, I darkened the camera one stop. The light meter says 11.2. Yeah, 100 watts is roughly where you start to really get some good amount of light that's able to kind of compete with the outdoor light of the sun. So 100 watts is kind of like the magic starting point. So let's move up to 120 watts with the Ulanzi VL120 Bi. 11.7, and I darkened the camera another stop, and now the sky's starting to turn a nice blue. This is where we are able to play a little bit, because now that we're into the Bones mount territory and we're at about 120 watts, we can start to play a little bit. This is the standard 7-inch hard reflector. Obviously, hard light is pure light, and it's going to be harsh, but it's brighter. If you were to put a frosted diffuser over this light, it's going to be a little softer, but you're going to be a little dimmer now. So now it's at 11.1. So you're losing about 3 to 4 tenths of a stop, but the light's a little bit softer. Anyway, this is roughly the point where that's all starting to have a little more leeway. Now watch this. If I take the GVM DR30 Scorcher, watch what happens when I put this thing on here. Whoa, that's bright. I just changed the reflector. That's all I did. And we are up to 22.1. Wow, we started at 5.6 something, and now we're at 22 something. Just from, wow, that is bright. And look what happened to the sky. Look how dark that is. Now, this is too bright for me to be able to function properly as a human being, so I'm going to put a sock over this thing and tame it down a bit, and now we start getting some really nice soft light. So I'm going to notice how much darker it is. All right, so I exposed for my face again. Now we're back down to 8.05. It's still pretty decent back there, but this is under control now. It's tamed, and I'm able to open my eyes again, and the light is softer. So look at how you can start to play now with the light, now that you have light to work with. All right, so let's move up to 200 watts. This is the X200 by Zhiyun. Let's go up to this now. And I'm going to use a 26-volt V-mount to get the maximum power out of it. All right, this is with the standard plastic Fresnel that it comes with. It's hard light, but that's what it comes with. It's 11.3, so we're back up to brighter again. but with hard light. So let's change out this reflector, because this is Bowen's mount, with a giant magnum reflector. Let's put this on there. All right, 11.3. It's exactly the same reading, but it's a wider light source. So this is a lot better at giving you a kind of softer light source because it's a bigger light source. This is with the Magnum. Now, it is hard light. So to really make this thing magical, let's put a sock on that. Here we go. All right, we're down to 8.02, but we have a really nice soft light. I really like this Magnum with a sock on it. This is the X200. It's still a little bit too dim. With, once you put a sock on a 200, it's not bright enough to really deal with the outdoors. All right, let's go up to 300 watts. This is a Godox VL300. We're going to start with a bare 7-inch standard reflector. Wow, yeah, this is definitely getting somewhere here. 16.4. This is a standard bare 7-inch reflector. Let's put the diffusion on there. All right, 16.4. It really didn't make much difference, but look at that. Nice blue, dark sky. 300 watts. You got a lot of power. All right, so this is with a standard 7-inch reflector with a frosted diffuser over it. Now we can start playing with some good lighting. Let's take this off and put on the GVM DR30 Scorcher with a sock on the front. All right, so now we have a nice soft light and it's powerful and the sky's nice and dark and we have a level of 16 with a GVM DR30 Scorcher with a sock on the front. All right, let's tame it down a little bit by putting on my favorite Magnum with the sock on it. All right, so now we have a nice bigger soft light source and it's still quite bright. The sky is quite nice and blue and dark. And we're at 11, F11, so that's pretty good. So this is 300 watts with a large Magnum reflector with a sock over, and socks really take the light level down. Now I know what some of you are asking, what about a softbox? Well, let's use a 24-inch, the smaller the softbox is, the brighter the light is. So I don't think you could go much bigger than a 24, but that's all you need because it's really close. So let's try a 24-inch softbox with the 300. So here's the softbox, and as you can see, softboxes are really not that bright outdoors. They're made for indoors. Now, flash photography, yeah, softboxes you can use outdoors because massive amount of light coming in a split second, but for video lighting, you really need a massive amount of light to do softboxes outdoors. And the 300 just isn't strong enough for that. But you can use a reflector with a sock on it, and that still is pretty good, as you saw. What about a silver beauty dish with a 300? Let's find out. Also not very bright. Let me adjust the camera for a second here. 8.03. So this is with a silver beauty dish on a 300 outdoors. Notice how light the background got again because we really had to adjust, make everything brighter to make this work. So beauty dishes are not really that bright outdoors. But if you take the DR30 Scorcher, take the sock off, now we're talking about some serious power here. Oh my God, I can't even open my eyes. It's 32.9 and I cannot open my eyes. But look at the background. That's what matters. But again, if I put a sock over it, now it's definitely tolerable. This is 11.8 with the DR30 with the sock over it. All right, so that's 300 watts. Let's move up to 800 watts with the non-light Forza 720. This is 800 watts. The 720 does not relate to the wattage. That's just the model number. But let's get up to 800 watts now. I have a feeling we can do whatever we want now. Let's start with the 16-inch beauty dish. That was really weak with the 300. Let's try the 800. All right, let's turn this baby on and see what happens. All right, this is with the silver beauty dish on the 800. It's really easy on the eyes. You'd think it'd be blinding, but I can relax my face. So if you want to do just a really easy, relaxing, talking thing, but have a good amount of light. And this is silver beauty dish, not even a white one. So anyway, 11.4. The amount of light coming out of it is decent. 11.4, that's good. This is the weakest one that we could use. So let's get into the more powerful stuff. Have some fun with that. Let's start with the standard 7-inch reflector that the 800 comes with. Just a standard 7-inch reflector. Wow, it's a 32. I can barely open my eyes. This is too bright, but let me put a frosted diffuser over it and see what that does. 22.7, so it's like, 3/10 of a stop. It's still very, very bright, and I am squinting. But wow, is it bright? Look at that background. Oh, it's like nighttime. So that's super bright. Let's soften the light a bit. Now that we have all this power, now we can start playing with softer light. So let's put on the Magnum reflector with the sock on it. Wow. Okay, so you got a nice soft light, but it is very bright to the eye. Wow. 16.7. So remember, we started with 5.6 and a half. Now we're at 16, over 16 and a half. It is a sock, but it is getting to the point where I can't relax my face anymore. It's almost too bright for my eyes. I can't really relax my face too much, but look how dark that is. Wow, that's amazing. Maybe my eyes will get used to it. Okay, so we know that this is brighter than a softbox. So what happens if we put a softbox on there? Let's see what that does. 11.2. So we're able to get a really good exposure for the background and have a softbox lighting up the subject in the foreground. Remember, and I'm in total black other than this light source. So yes, you can use a softbox outdoors for video, but you're going to need about 800 watts. That's about comparable to a 1,000 watt tungsten traditional old school light. But then you got to gel that light, and that takes it down 70%. So this is actually much more efficient than the old school lights if you want to do video outdoors. But anyway, so yeah, 11.3, and it's doable. I mean, you've got a nice exposure for the background, and well, let's just, for the hell of it, put the DR30 Scorcher on there, and probably the background will look like midnight, I'm sure. Okay, that is insane. I cannot open my eyes. I wonder what I wonder what this is. It's 45.5. Oh my God. This is so bright. I mean, I'm feeling my skin starting to burn. It is so hot, and it's not even that close to me. This is insane. Look at the difference that reflectors make, the different modifiers. Wow. But my favorite modifier for the 200 to 300 and the 800 is the Magnum reflector with the sock on it. The Magnum reflector actually has a little really bright hot spot right in the middle, but the sock kind of tames it down. And I think it produces a really nice look. I mean, it's like a softbox, but it's more rugged. So if you're out and it's a little bit windy, this can handle outdoors a lot better than a softbox can. And it actually, because of the inside, it's more focused and concentrated light. It doesn't just bounce around randomly. So there you go. If you want to do videos outdoors in bright sunlight and you want to tone that background down nice and dark to whatever you want it to be, I would say the magic spot for having kind of soft light and having enough light would be somewhere between 300 and 800. I'd say 600 is probably the magic number. 500, 600 watt lights was probably what you're going to need to do it right. If you're going to use a softbox, you got to start at around 800 to really do it justice. But obviously, you don't have to have the background this dark. You don't have to. But I would say if you're doing video outdoors, you got to have, I think, at least 300 watts LED to make it a decent, you have leeway to do what you want with the softness of the light and the darkness of the background. That's just the biggest challenge of all, is having enough light outdoors to compete with the sunlight for video. For flash photography, that's easy. You get the brightness of the sun in a 1/10,000th of a second, but keep that going, that's difficult. And I'm having a little bit of difficulty talking to you right now. This is really bright. Let me adjust this. All right, I put the 800 down to 50%, and it's at 11.7. It's a little more tolerable, but the easiest on the eyes is 8.06. Yeah, this beauty dish, now I can relax my face. It's at 50%. The 800 is at 50%, and I can totally relax my face now and be a normal person. Anyway, so I hope this helped. I hope this opened your eyes. Hope it fascinated you, intrigued you, you learned something, or if anything else, you were just entertained, because that's good too. So stay tuned to my channel for more fun, exciting, interesting, entertaining stuff. And if you haven't signed up for the big, giant, mega giveaway of all mother giveaways, make sure you go to marcuspix.giveawayenter.com for that, for the holiday giveaway. Cinema cameras, $6,000 lenses, it's all there. Go for it. And so, all right, well, I'll see you in the next video. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.